So let's look at spirituality. Let's talk about your spirituality a little bit. We talked about it just a hair in the beginning, but do you have any spiritual practices like prayer, yoga, or meditation that you do?
Well, I think spirituality is such an interesting, fascinating topic because, like, for me growing up, I thought it was all about religion. And I wasn't a big fan of, religion at that time. And so I thought, well, I must not be a spiritual person. But what I learned as I got older is I'm a very spiritual person, but it's spirituality defined in a way, again, that works for me. And so I start every day with my meditation practice. I say affirmations. I write in my gratitude journal. I write other things. How do I want to feel today? Who do I want to connect with today? And so has become almost a ritual for me every morning.
Oh, I love it.
And thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, can you just, if you could expound a little bit, tell our audience what affirmations are, and then talk to them about what a gratitude journal is and why it's beneficial.
Okay, so an affirmation, mine is actually a little different. Might be a statement in the future that you believe, like, I am a happy, healthy person. If you say that again and again every morning, you might become, but I think mine are more reminders from the universe. And before I'll have breakfast, I'll just, might say a moment of gratitude. I might talk about what my life purpose is. And I might actually think about what wonderful thing can happen today. And so for me, I say the same things every single morning, and they just start my day off right. And usually that happens before my gratitude journal. My gratitude journal, people think it's this big, arduous, project, but I recommend people just get a journal and write 5 bullet points every day. And so some days I might be grateful that, yes, it finally stopped raining here, or yay, the sun came out in May finally, but other days I might be really grateful for avocados, or that, my daughter called me and was like really happy, or it can be simple little things. But what's so beautiful is it really forces you to focus on what's good in your life. And we think that those are good things to do in the good times. But the truth is, in the bad times, when everything is falling apart, that's when you really need a gratitude journal, because you can look around and go, oh, my life sucks. But hey, I have this book filled with things that I'm so grateful for. And it's a very, very powerful, powerful practice.
Wow. So how do you recommend that someone develop their own spiritual side? Like get in touch with, like you
I
said.
think the gratitude journal is a really great way to start. Like I said,
Yeah.
so easy. Pick up a journal and literally 5 bullet points a day. That's like a no-brainer. Like, start that. And then maybe if they haven't, if they want to get into meditation, there's some great guided meditations out there. And I think that's a really easy way to start. Or, start for a minute. Like, people go, I can never sit still. It's like a minute. Like, it's close your eyes and breathe deeply for 1 minute. And when that's going really well, go to 2 minutes. Like, this doesn't have to be a high stress, super serious thing. This should be something, again, it's bringing a positive thing for you. I'm like, who doesn't feel good after a minute of closing their eyes and breathing? Have you ever met anybody? Like,
No,
no,
not at
it
all.
feels great. Right, exactly. So like the more you do it, and then the more you practice it at the times you need it, you'll have it. So when you get into that stressful situation and you feel your blood pressure rising and you're getting angry, you just close your eyes and breathe, and it knows your body just responds, goes really back down. And that's like, I'm like a super calm person. It takes a lot to really get me riled up, because I just look at everything as, oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that I'm feeling super sad today? I wonder why. Like, I just kind of like notice it all. I take it all in, and I don't get like stuck in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Have you ever read the book, The Four Agreements?
It's funny that you said that. I literally have it on my desk. Someone recommended it to me, and I have not read it, but I do own it.
It's phenomenal. You should totally read it. But I
Okay, I
mean,
will.
the way
I
the way
will.
the way you're describing yourself, I'm like, man, 'cause I finished reading the book about a month and a half ago, and it changed my entire life all the way around.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, no, it was a huge shift. I mean, like when you talked about just not letting things get to you, that's one of the things he talks about in the book, is just not taking things personally, and then not assuming things. And so
Yeah, I
if
love that
you
way.
just do those two things, you know, getting more information keeps you from assuming, and then just not taking things personally, but just seeing things that people are just talking to you out of their own perspective, then you have nothing to get flustered about anymore. Like, wow, I'm living my own great free world.
I think, Chris, that's such a good point, because so many times, like, you'll hear someone say, "Oh my God, like, she's such a snap, she's so bitchy," whatever it is. And the truth is, she's just having a bad day. And we do take everything about us. We're all naturally very self-centered. And so we assume that if somebody's in a bad way, it's something we did or we said. But most of the time, it's something not related to us at all. So when we give people the benefit of the doubt and we look at it that way, it really does take away so much angst out of your life.
It does, in a major way. All right, so let's talk about you a little bit. Tell us about Healthy, Happy, and Hip.
Well, Healthy, Happy, and Hip. I mean, the number one is I love to coach people privately, because I think that we can make such headway into what's really going on for you, and looking at your habits and looking at your triggers, whether they're chemical triggers or emotional triggers, and hungry, and what you're hungry for in life. So I love working with people one-on-one, but I also offer group programs. I have programs to help people with sugar or alcohol or just elimination diets. I have all sorts of programs, and I work with people on meditation as well. Practical ways to meditate, like literally what we talked about, starting a minute at a time, a couple minutes at a time. And that's what I do. And my book is out there. It's called Busy, Stressed, and Food Obsessed. It's on Amazon. And I think that really does offer a lot of my philosophy in there for someone who just wants a little starter. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and it's won some awards, and it's gotten a lot of good reviews.
Ooh, excellent. Yeah, we'll make sure to have a link to that.
I
Now,
also have a podcast too they can listen to, also called Busy, Stressed, and Food Obsessed.
oh, very nice. Yeah, we'll make sure we get links to all those things so we can share them with the audience. Now, why did you start Healthy, Happy, and Hip?
Well, I think what happened was I went back to school, and it was really funny because they said, as part of our homework, you need to start doing some sample client sessions. And I was like, okay. And I would do these sample trial client sessions, and the clients would say, "Can I work with you?" And I'd say, okay. And suddenly I had clients, and then people were like, "Oh, I'd really like this." And before you know it, I had this company, and I was just running programs and doing so much stuff and doing more speaking events. And it kind of really just organically evolved. It was really just quite fascinating. But for me, it's so powerful because this is how I live. If I don't live it myself, I don't preach it. I'm really careful to walk my walk and talk my talk. And when I find that I'm not doing that, I pull back and I go, I'm no good to anybody if I'm not good to myself. And so I really do take this stuff very seriously. I know that it keeps me feeling healthy, happy, and hip. And that's my goal, is to help others feel that way too.
So what do you love? Like, what do you absolutely love about your job?
I love that I can actually help people transform their lives. And I always feel that I was put on this planet to help other people thrive. And when they're thriving, it makes me feel like I'm thriving. And I just honestly, like, if I see somebody have an aha moment or a breakthrough or just improve their life, like, that really fills my cup. That really, really does. And I'm very fortunate that I found something that is just so beautiful, that really can make a difference. It's not going to change 10 million people's lives, but if I can change, one or two lives every day, I'm doing a great job.
Awesome. Now, something I noticed is you have these really catchy program names. How'd you come up with those? Did you come up with those yourself? They're
I
really
did. I
catchy.
come up with them all by
I
myself.
love like the Booze Snooze. I mean, you have such great catchy names.
Thank you. It's just funny. I have fun. I was always kind of like a little poet in my own mind. And so, and so I feel like ditch your sugar itch. And
Yes.
in fact, the first article I ever wrote was called "How I Ditched My Inner Skinny Bitch." And it got so much attention. I was like, oh, this is fun. And so I really try to have fun with it.
Oh, that's great. Now, you talked about it before. I want you to reiterate, though. A resource. You have a resource that you can share with our listeners?
Oh, to reach me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, if they text 44144 and enter the word healthy, they'll get sent that 10 yummy recipes with no sugar. And they can go to my website, healthyhappyandhip.com, and there's a place to join my Facebook group and to connect with me. And I would love to hear from you. I'd love to say hi. Write me a little note. I do respond to every person that sends me a little note. And we'll take it from there. And if you're not sure what you need, there's a contact form and we can set up a little call and help you, point you in the right direction.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us today on TheraFit Podcast.
Oh, Chris, it was such a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I had a great time, and we will talk to you soon. Best of luck on your business, and continue to, do great things in the world.
Thank you, Chris. You too.
Okay. Thank you for listening to this session of TheraFit. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, holisticfamilysolutions.com, to your friends and colleagues. Be sure to check out the archive section of our website for previous podcasts. This has been an HFS production. Join us next time for another edition of TheraFit.